Making a wet palette in under 5 minutes. Now, first thing you'll need is a Tupperware box. I like the type with clip lids because they give a good airtight seal. Get rid of that. Now, you don't want to have to be reaching into the palette to get your paints out, so I turn them over, and it's the lid of the box that I actually use as the palette itself. Next thing you'll need are some sponge cloths or similar, something to hold your water in place. Doesn't matter which colour you really use, and you'll get a pack with loads in for absolutely next to nothing. Now you need to trim this down to fit. Easiest way to do that, just fold it over and use that to mark the edge. Now get the cut started, and you can let it open out and then just run away across, cutting it down. Doesn't need to be too tidy, just needs to fit inside the box. Better to be a little bit smaller than a little bit too big. Again, just fold it over, use that to mark the edge you need to work to, and trim it down nice and easy. There you go, just fits in. Now there's a rough and a smooth side on these particular cloths. You really want the rough side down, so your paint's going onto a sort of smoother surface. Next thing you need is a non-stick kitchen or greaseproof paper. What you don't want is waxed paper. That's a sort of different type of stuff. You don't really see it very much these days. Now I'm just going to cut a strip across of this that will fit the width of my wet palette. Now helps to have a cutting board with the lines on because you can keep things square then. And just check it against your palette. And you'll see here, you could just line it up with the lines on the cutting mat below, just to keep things square, so you know you've got a nice rectangle. Now, each slice I'm going to take off is actually going to give me, enough paper to do 2 palettes with. But you go through them fairly quickly, so just keep one to one side spare once you've cut it in half. Now, half width of that sheet is just a little bit too big, so I'm going to just trim it down again so it's not fouling the lid when I come to use it. Again, just trim it down, check it's fine, and so I don't have to do it when I come to use the next piece. I'll trim that one down at the same time, just so I've got some in stock, the right size for my palette. There we go. Next thing, just wet the palette down. Now when you start off with a new sheet, you want your palette to be quite wet. During use, you'll find it doesn't need to be as wet as this, but like I say, starting it off, putting a new sheet on, you want it to sort of start to draw through properly. So make sure it's pretty much fully doused in water. The fluid should be sitting just over the top of the surface of the foam at this stage. There you go, you can see it's just slopping about there. Then just lay down your parchment. Ideally lay it down so the face that's down is against the roll of the paper. Get rid of any bubbles, clip your lid on, and you're done. Tidy. Should only cost a couple of quid, nice and easy, and hopefully give you years of good use in painting. Sometimes the sponges get a bit untidy, start to get a bit unhappy, but in that case you can just throw them away and replace them with a new one. But I find I get months and months of use before they start to get a bit unhappy. So hopefully that's of use to people, and all the best.